Hi everyone, it's Sue Plumb here to share another scrapbook process video with you. Today's layout was created for Cocoa Vanilla Studio and it's using that challenge mood board there. Now that mood board was designed as part of the International Scrapbook Day celebrations that are happening in the Cocoa Vanilla Studio community group. And if you are not already a member of that group, I will put a link down below so that you can join us there and you may be able to play along with some of our International Scrapbook Day challenges. So this layout actually was inspired somewhat by my fellow design team member, Anna Commender, because Anna also created a layout for this mood board and she pulled out some of our Bohemian Dream collection. Now, I happen to have a little bit of stash of this collection left and I thought, what better time to pull it out and see if I can get some of this stash busted than for this challenge. So I'm actually going to be scrapping a photo of myself for this layout, and it's a selfie that I took probably about a month or so ago, and I took it the day that I was heading off to a job interview, which was my first job interview I've had in quite some time. It was a fairly informal job interview, but nonetheless, I was pretty excited to go off and get back into the workforce again, back into the business world again. Anyway, so I did get the job, if you're wondering, and I have been working at the job, and that is why there has not been as much content going up on my channel, because I have been working a lot and I have not had much time to create, unfortunately. So I was really happy that this International Scrapbook Day challenge came along and gave me a bit of a prompt to get creative at my desk. So I started this layout, as I said, with my Bohemian Dream stash. And a lot of the pieces that I am actually working with for this page are scraps. You know, I love to bust my scraps. And at the start here, you're going to see just a little bit of shuffling while I was trying to figure out the right configuration for this page and what paper I wanted where. And anyway, so I had that large piece, that 12 by 12 sheet with the blue stripes on it that I decided to use as my background. So there's not an awful lot of mixed media on this one. There's a bit of acrylic paint and there's some mist splatters. But other than that, it's got no other mediums on it, which is unusual for me. Anyway, so I also had that large piece of that ombre paper with the tear across the bottom of it, and I just decided to use that piece as it was already in my scraps bag there, and I stuck it straight over the top, and that defined my focal area for this page right away. I wanted to put an extra strip of some sort of pattern. Initially, I reached for a very arty style abstract pattern to separate the two papers, but it was a little bit harsh. It was a little bit overwhelming. So I decided to go in with those beautiful hearts there, which was a much softer pattern, and it didn't really detract from the focal area the way that I thought that the other piece of paper would. So you'll see with this layout, I was a little bit freehand too. I used my scissors to cut paper. Normally I would do it with a trimmer because, you know, I quite like things being straight where they're supposed to be straight. But I went a little bit freehand with this one and I just cut my photo mat using my scissors. So you can see I've got the acrylic paint going down there. I just used my brayer and I just used some white paint just to help define the area where my photo was going to sit and just to add a little bit of extra interest to the background. Now, the mood board itself, I drew heavily from the colour palette that was in the mood board, which had blue, it had, a sky blue, it had pink and purple, and it had a dark indigo colour because it had the sunset photo there. And I also drew inspiration from the ombre background of the quote, which was let your dreams take flight. So I also decided to play into that quote with the theme of this page, which was ultimately why I ended up calling it Dare to Dream. And I used a lot of the phrase stickers on this one that have got those real sort of inspirational words like dream big and be bold, sparkle and shine. You'll see them when I get them on the page. Anyway, getting back to my layers here. Now, my apologies if I do sound a little bit tired, because I am. It's late at night here and I am recording this voiceover so that I can get this up on my channel for you guys, because I am well aware of my lack of content for the last week or so, and I'm really keen to get this one up, and also so I can post it in the community group for Cocoa Vanilla as well. So, pattern paper layers are down. I have got one of my signature paper doilies there, and I've also added some frayed gauze. Now, I have slowed down this part of the video specifically for a friend of mine, Sarah. If you're watching, that's how I do my gauze, because I did promise Sarah that I would put it in a video so she could see exactly how I fray my gauze and how I get it to look like I do. So I simply start with my sheet of gauze. I cut usually about 1/3 of the sheet off, depending on what size photo or what photos I am working with. And the gauze that I get has a very loose weave, so it's very, very easy to pull the fibers apart from one another. And I just spread that sheet out and I just loosely pull those fibers away from one another and then sit it down where my photo is going to go. Sarah, if you want to have a closer look, by all means go back in the video, have a look and see how I pull it apart and mess it up. Occasionally I will trim some extra threads from it, but generally however it goes is however it goes, and I just work with it. So you can see I am working on putting some horizontal pieces onto this page, because I decided that it needed a bit of a horizontal anchor going on, and also just to help tie in with the fact that there are those horizontal stripes on the background. I also had that strip of the heart paper running horizontally across the page. So it was just to make the whole design look a bit more cohesive. And as you can see, I also used that horizontal strip as an anchor point for my page title. So my page title is there you can see it, Dare to Dream. So I used the word dream from the chipboard sticker sheet, which you can see has hardly anything left on it. And it was my goal to use up what was left on that sheet on this layout. So it had, what did it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe six pieces on it. And I was determined to get them all on this layout so I could throw that backing piece away. I also had pulled out a sticker sheet for this layout, an accessory sticker sheet that had very few stickers left on it, and it was my goal to also get rid of that. Now, this sticker sheet has been in my stash for quite some time, and I have to say the adhesive on it wasn't what it used to be. So you will see when I am sticking the stickers on that I also add a little dab of glue behind them just to help them adhere to the page properly. Now, a couple of those chipboard stickers that I wanted to use in fairly close to my photo. So you can see that dream catcher that I've tucked in under the bottom and the purple bird that I'm just working on there. I had to trim part of those away in order to tuck them underneath the photo, because I had already mounted my photo up on some scrap cardboard just to pop it up away from those background layers and help it come to the fore of the page. I also did the same thing with that chipboard frame there. I cut part of it away, probably roughly half of it away, in order to tuck it in under the left side of my photo. Now, if you watched closely at the start of the video when I was flicking through, giving you a look at the scraps that I had to work with and the embellishments that I had left from this collection, you would have also seen that I had a few other little bits and pieces. I've got that handmade star that's from Charms Creations that had a layer of pink and purple on it, so I thought it would work really well with this page. And I knew I had that butterfly flare button, which tied in beautifully with the butterfly image from the mood board. And I really wanted that star to layer underneath that flare button. So there it goes. There's the backing from the chipboard sticker sheet. Hooray! Please tell me I'm not the only one who does a little dance of joy when they're able to finish off an embellishment sheet like that, be it chipboard or stickers or enamel dots or whatever it is. When you get to the end of something, it's quite an achievement and one worth celebrating. So I am now continuing on my mission to use up as many of these stickers as I could. As I said, you can see that those fray stickers at the bottom there, they've kind of been a bit beaten up in my stash. The adhesive isn't quite what they used to be. There was no way I was going to be able to use up all of the phrases that were left on this sheet. But the fact that I was able to use multiple phrases and also use up pretty much the rest of the sticker sheet, I was happy with. So that one ended up going in the bin as well. So two things gone out of my stash, which I was very happy about. Now, the little, you'll see the little bird sticker on the sticker sheet there. It's a circular sticker. I don't know. I don't tend to work with circular stickers very often. I will tend to cut them into another shape, tuck them under something else. I don't just usually stick something circular on my page straight like that without layering it with something else. And with this bird sticker, what I decided to do is I fussy cut that tiny little pink bird out and I just tucked it in down near those fray stickers that I had on the page. Now, using these winged creatures, so I've got two birds and I've also got the butterfly on the flare button, all played in really nicely to the "Let Your Dreams Take Flight" quote from the board. In fact, the title of the board is Take Flight, so I thought popping these little things with wings on them would work very well. I also, as I said, worked into the dream part of the board with my title and the fact that I put the dream catcher on there as well. Now, with my embellishment clusters here, I did sort of stray from my normal formula with this page. Now, traditionally, I would have 3 very strong and easily identifiable embellishment clusters. And you can see that I've got one cluster up the top there. I've got one on the left-hand side and I've got one at the bottom. But I also have sort of a secondary cluster where the title is, because I've tucked in that little bird embellishment. I've also added an arrow over there to point into the photo. And then it sort of cascades down that right-hand side. So I've got that die cut that's got that quote on it, then the title, then the phrases underneath. So, yeah, it was a little bit outside what I would usually do, but I'm really happy with how it came together. And when you look at the page, your eye still travels around quite comfortably. So I was happy with that. Now, I didn't end up using all of those enamel shapes there. There's still some hearts left on there and some dots as well, which of course are the larger size one. Not massive, but they are the larger ones. And if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I prefer the tiny ones. Are you like me? Do you have a preference for enamel dots? Anyway. So that was my page. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you can play along with us with some of our Scrapbook Day challenges. Get over to the Cocoa Vanilla Studio community group and join us there. And I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.